First and foremost, the sheer financial might of the global criminal empire is chillingly quantified in the figure of $5 billion. This was the metric of a sprawling empire built on the trafficking of methamphetamine and the lethal precursors for fentanyl. For nearly a decade, this network operated as a highly elusive, decentralized digital specter, ghost. Its core infrastructure relied on the layered encryption of the Tor network and the pseudo-anonymity of cryptocurrency to successfully shield its operations from the scrutiny of global intelligence agencies and national law. Enforcement. Their unwavering confidence in their anonymity was, in the end, the ultimate strategic vulnerability. This is the definitive, untold story of Operation RapTor, a mission that strategically redefined the doctrine of modern counter-narcotics warfare. It marked the unprecedented strategic and tactical fusion of two monumental forces, the overwhelming kinetic maritime power of the U.S. Navy and the surgical, cyber-forensic precision of the FBI's JCODE team. The target organization operated with a chilling, near-corporate efficiency, mimicking legitimate e-commerce giants, utilizing specialized customer service aliases, vendor rating systems, and an intricate global logistics network spanning 4 continents. The intrinsic urgency of the mission escalated it far beyond conventional criminal justice, becoming a critical defensive action against the escalating domestic opioid epidemic. The operation culminated in a meticulously planned, synchronized global strike set for Thursday, May 22, 2025. The FBI's Specialized Joint Criminal Opioid and Darknet Enforcement (JCODE) team dedicated years to mapping the entire network, ultimately pinpointing the critical physical choke points where the digital ghost had to manifest. This breakthrough involved identifying mundane yet crucial distribution hubs, such as the seemingly ordinary apartment complex in Los Angeles, used for packaging and final delivery of the illicit cargo. The successful swoop, executed in collaboration with over a dozen international partners, resulted in more than 270 coordinated arrests globally, definitively shattering the dark web's long-held illusion of complete immunity. Now, the focus shifts. The FBI's JCODE strategy was recognized as a masterpiece of forensic patience, specifically designed to counteract the criminals' encrypted anonymity by targeting their systemic flaws in finance and physical logistics. JCODE analysts understood they needed to target the moments where digital activity intersected with the physical world, creating the necessary exploitable weaknesses. The finance flaw: cryptocurrency demixing and tracing methodology. The massive $5 billion criminal operation required substantial real-world liquidity. Hundreds of millions were consistently needed to pay suppliers and cover vast operational overheads. This continuous need to cash out was their greatest tactical vulnerability. JCODE leveraged cutting-edge blockchain analysis platforms and specialized demixing software, meticulously tracking billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency through various mixers and tumblers. This enabled the creation of a granular financial network map, precisely identifying which specific wallets were used to remit payments to the bulk chemical suppliers in Asia, and, conversely, which wallets accumulated the final profits, thereby linking anonymous darknet aliases directly to the responsible flesh and blood operators. This complex financial mapping proved instrumental in securing international freezing orders and establishing the necessary paper trail for prosecution. The logistics weakness: AI-driven package interception protocol. The necessity of physical delivery was the second fatal flaw. The FBI established a critical, long-term intelligence partnership with major global mail and parcel carriers. This deployed a sophisticated intelligence system that utilized AI-driven predictive analytics and mass scanning technologies on global postal traffic. The AI was trained specifically on the drug ring's minute, highly detailed operational patterns, automatically flagging packages based on non-standard weights for the stated content, use of specific packaging materials, and subtle routing anomalies. This advanced forensic interception was vital for securing courtroom admissible evidence, ensuring that the digital identity of a vendor could be irrevocably linked to the physical chemical contents of the package. By connecting the darknet storefronts to the physical shipping manifests of bulk chemicals legally imported from places like China, the FBI established a complete and undeniable chain of criminal evidence. Crucially, thousands of miles from the FBI's digital war rooms, the U.S. Navy and its elite Coast Guard law enforcement detachments LEDETs were executing the physically demanding, kinetic role, establishing a devastating, continuous maritime choke point across the Eastern Pacific and Caribbean transit zone. The Navy's mission was explicitly to inflict continuous financial strain and logistical chaos, deliberately forcing the critical errors that the FBI could immediately exploit in the digital sphere. Countering narco stealth, advanced LPV tactics. The primary physical obstacle was the low-profile vessels, LPVs, and custom-built semi-submersibles, narco subs. These crafts are uniquely engineered for near-total radar invisibility, designed to run almost entirely submerged. The Navy's counter-stealth strategy was multi-layered and technologically superior. Aerial dominance by the P-8 Poseidon. The P-8 aircraft provided critical aerial dominance using powerful electro-optical divided by infrared, EO divided by IR, sensors. These systems are designed to detect the subtle thermal and hydrodynamic wake anomalies generated by a semi-submerged hull, effectively stripping away the narco sub's camouflage at extended ranges. Furthermore, they utilized magnetic anomaly detection, MAD, gear, typically used for military submarines, to pinpoint the metallic signatures of LPV engines beneath the surface. High-risk tactical interdiction protocol. Once located, Navy destroyers and frigates would deploy high-speed RHIBs carrying the specialized LEDETs. These highly trained teams, often deploying under the cover of darkness, executed rapid, close-quarters boarding maneuvers in adverse sea conditions, neutralizing the threat and securing the evidence. The procedural rigor of securing and processing the evidence at sea was paramount for maintaining the integrity of the criminal prosecution. Furthermore, the relentless success of the Navy was not merely a physical victory, but a catastrophic financial drain on the criminal network. The interdiction strategy was designed to introduce unpredictable and massive losses into the cartel's operational budget, forcing chaotic reactions. Massive financial blow. The seizure of a single shipment of 700,000 pounds of precursor chemicals alone was a $569 million blow in terms of final street value, immediately inducing financial desperation and chaos within the decentralized organization. The consistent loss of product and precursor chemicals forced the Darknet vendors to drastically increase prices, seek more expensive and riskier supply routes, and openly communicate their logistical failures in encrypted forums. Market exploitation. The chaos created by the Navy became immediate market intelligence for the FBI. By monitoring the dark web, JCODE analysts observed the spike in vendor panic, the sudden drop in customer satisfaction ratings due to delayed or missing shipments, and the frantic attempts to find new, secure shipping methods. This real-time market anxiety provided the exact data points needed to accelerate the financial tracing and identification of key network controllers. The Navy's kinetic action effectively turned the Darknet market against itself, the human element at sea. Beyond the technology, the interdiction missions required extraordinary skill and endurance from the sailors and LEDETs. Long, arduous hours of surveillance in harsh maritime environments were routine. The mental and physical toll of maintaining focus during patrols lasting weeks, followed by the sudden, adrenaline-fueled moments of interdiction against potentially armed targets, cannot be overstated. Every sailor understood that their vigilance was directly saving lives back home by cutting the fentanyl supply line. Next in the arsenal, the true genius of Operation RapTor, the untold story, and the new doctrine, lay entirely in the strategic and operational synchronization of these two powerful, yet distinct forces, digital patience orchestrated kinetic action. The Navy's aggressive interdiction campaign served as the indispensable physical trigger, the integrated intelligence cycle. The strategic blueprint operated on a self-reinforcing loop. A major Navy seizure would immediately create a severe logistical and financial crisis for the network. This kinetic pressure forced the Darknet vendors into a state of panic, leading to exploitable surges in digital activity, such as desperate attempts to reroute funds, switch vendor aliases, or execute emergency cryptocurrency transfers. This critical digital intelligence was immediately processed and fed back to JCODE, which in turn provided refined targeting data, for example, new supplier identities, updated smuggling routes, and back to the Navy, making subsequent maritime interdictions even more effective. This continuous integrated loop squeezed the network relentlessly until the entire criminal system was mapped and rendered vulnerable. Geopolitical cooperation. The complexity of the investigation spanned 4 continents, requiring the FBI to coordinate with global partners, including Europol and various South American and Asian agencies. This level of multinational cooperation was paramount, ensuring that the final action would be a simultaneous collapse rather than a partial disruption, preventing the criminals from simply shifting their operations to an unregulated haven. The integrity of the evidence chain, from the seizure at sea to the digital forensic lab, was maintained through strict, unified international protocols. At the climax, the culmination of this long, complex operation on Thursday, May 22, 2025, represented a display of absolute strategic dominance. The synchronized global action ensured that the individuals responsible for running approximately 10 major Darknet vendor groups spread across 17 different dark web markets were apprehended simultaneously. The arrests and seizures. The arrest warrants were executed across multiple jurisdictions, catching the operators, who ranged from sophisticated programmers to money launderers, completely off guard. The coordination ensured that no single cell could warn another, guaranteeing the maximum impact of the 270 arrests. The evidence seized included the physical distribution hubs, encrypted servers, and most importantly, the hard drives containing the decryption keys needed to finalize the prosecution. Financial decapitation and precedent. The final financial accounting delivered a catastrophic blow: the seizure of over $200 million in combined assets, including massive cryptocurrency holdings. This established a powerful new global standard for seizing digital criminal assets and effectively destroyed the financial engine of the $5 billion operation. The successful seizure of cryptocurrency holdings proved that the supposed untraceability of digital finance is no longer a shield against dedicated, modern law enforcement. Finally, the aftermath, Operation RapTor, establishes a profound and chilling precedent. The perceived anonymity of the dark web is an illusion that crumbles when confronted with sophisticated, coordinated global policing. The operation successfully redefined the threat environment. Evolving security doctrine. The triumph underscores the critical, evolving role of the U.S. Navy in a modern world where threats are non-traditional and rooted in complex maritime and digital logistics. It confirms that the Navy's mission extends far beyond conventional warfare, serving as a vital shield against threats that directly impact domestic public health. The success is a testament to the dedication of both the quiet digital analysts in the FBI's JCODE team and the brave sailors and airmen of the U.S. Navy, who relentlessly patrolled the vastness of the ocean. As the FBI director unequivocally stated, "The ease and accessibility of the Darknet's crimes ended today." The story of Operation RapTor is not just a chapter in history. It is a definitive blueprint for how digital patience, integrated intelligence, and kinetic action must combine to defeat the invisible enemies of the 21st century. The triumph of strategic brilliance and relentless dedication over $1 billion specter is the true untold story of this historic collaboration.